Good day, grade 5. Welcome to our science class. I am Teacher Joey, your virtual teacher for today. Today class, we will travel to another lesson in science. I know and I am sure that you are all excited for another fun-filled learning activities for today. So let us now begin. But wait class, before we start our discussion, try to find a nice and comfortable place inside your home where you can focus with your lesson. I want you to prepare yourself as well as your materials necessary for your study. Kindly bring out your pen and paper so that you could jot down some important notes needed for your learning. Always remember class that having knowledge is having a power. So our lesson for today for quarter 2, week 5 is about the classification of living things, animals, and microorganisms. So at the end of this lesson, the learners use a table to show how living things can be classified into groups based on similar characteristics. Letter A, animals including mammals, insects, birds, fish, amphibians, and reptiles. And microorganisms including fungi and bacteria. So the learning competencies are the following. For number 1 is to classify animals and microorganisms based on their characteristics. Number 2, describe the key characteristics of different groups of living things including animals, just like mammals, reptiles, insects, birds, fish, amphibians, and microorganisms, which is fungi and bacteria. Number 3 is to explain the importance of classification in studying and preserving biodiversity. And number 4, explain the importance of microorganisms in the ecosystem and for humans. Day 1. We have a short review here. So all you have to do is to classify the listed plant samples to review the differences between gymnosperms and angiosperms. So we have here cycad, banana, ginkgo, coconut, rice, acacia, conifers, corn, and mango. Are you ready now to sort these words? So cycad belongs to gymnosperms. Banana is belong to angiosperms. Next, ginkgo belongs to gymnosperms, while coconut belong to angiosperms, rice belong to angiosperms, acacia belongs to angiosperms, conifers belong to gymnosperms, then corn and mango belongs to angiosperm. So let's have a game. You're going to match words describing various organisms with corresponding pictures to introduce your understanding of biological classification. You are to match words describing organisms with pictures representing those organisms through a memory game. So this is a memory game, word and picture matching. So you're going to memorize all the word and the picture and you're going to match. Are you ready? So let's begin. So this time, let's now work on unlocking content vocabulary. So all you have to do is, using vocabulary word scrambles, you're going to form the desired words through the descriptions of a certain difficult terms in order to lead a seamless and interesting discussion. Are you ready? Number 1. A warm-blooded vertebrate animal of a class that is distinguished by a possession of hair or fur, the secretion of milk by females for the nourishment of the young, and typically the birth of live young. So what's your answer? Yes, very good. That is mammal. Number 2. A vertebrate animal of a class that includes snakes, lizards, crocodiles, turtles, and tortoises. They are distinguished by having a dry, scaly skin and typically laying soft-shelled eggs on land. What is it? Yes, that is reptile. Next, number 3. A small arthropod animal that has 6 legs and generally 1 or 2 pairs of wings. What is it? Very good. That is insect. Next, number 4. A warm-blooded egg-laying vertebrate distinguished by the possession of feathers, wings, and beak, and typically by being able to fly. That's correct. That is bird. For number 5, a limbless cold-blooded vertebrate animal with gills and fins and living wholly in water. What's your answer? Exactly, that is fish. For number 6, a cold-blooded vertebrate animal of a class that comprises the frogs, toads, and newts, and salamanders. They are distinguished by having an aquatic gill-breathing larval stage followed typically by a terrestrial long-breathing adult stage. Excellent, that is amphibian. For number 7, a member of a large group of unicellular microorganisms which have a cell walls but lack organelles and an organized nucleus, including some that can cause disease. Amazing, that is bacteria. And for our last number, any of a group of spore-producing organisms feeding on organic matter, including molds, yeast, mushrooms, and toadstools. That is what? Exactly, that is fungi. Subtopic number 1. Characteristics of animals, including mammals, reptiles, insects, birds, and fish, and amphibians. Explicitation. Classify which group the representative animal is a member of. They are to make use of the word box below. So for our picture number 1, what was that? Is that a mammal, fish, reptile, amphibian, insect, or bird? Yes, that is a mammal. For picture number 2, the classification of that picture is insect. Next picture, yes, we will classify snake as reptile. Very good. Next picture, it's an eagle. So therefore, we will classify eagle as bird. Next picture, we have milkfish. So that is a fish. And then the last picture, a frog. That is an amphibian. Day 2. Activity number 1. Where do I belong? Describing characteristics of animals in the worksheets. Work example. Learners will be grouped into 6 representing the 6 major animal classifications, namely mammal, reptile, insect, bird, fish, and amphibian. So each group will be given 3 representative animal samples with corresponding handout, which they will work on prepared by the teacher. This handout will be given separately to each group according to which classification they belong. They are to accomplish the table by taking down notes on the key characteristics and giving other animals belonging to the specific group they are working on. Materials needed on this activity: pictures of the representative samples of animals including mammals, reptile, insect, bird, fish, and amphibian. Handouts on the characteristics of the 6 groups of animals. For Group 1, you will be going to discuss about the mammals. What is mammals? The characteristics of mammals. So these animals range from bats, cats, and rats to dogs, monkeys, elephants, and whales. They walk, run, swim, and fly. They live in the ocean, fly in the sky, walk on the prairies, and run in the savanna. There is a tremendous amount of diversity within the group in terms of reproduction, habitat, and adaptation for living in those different habitats. What allows them to live in such diverse environments? So they have evolved specialized traits unlike those of any other group of animals. Mammals, or class Mammalia, are endothermic, or what you call warm-blooded vertebrate animals with a number of unique characteristics. What are these unique characteristics? In most mammals, these include number 1, we have the presence of hair or fur. Next, they have what you call sweat glands. Next, they have glands specialized to produce milk, known as mammary glands. 3 middle ear bones, a neocortex region in the brain, which specializes in seeing and hearing. They also specialize teeth, and a 4-chambered heart. Another characteristics of mammals is there are approximately 5,400 mammalian species ranging in size from the tiny 1 to 2-inch bumblebee bat to the 108-foot blue whale. These are distributed in 29 orders, 153 families, and about 1,200 genera. So there are 3 types of mammals. The first one is we have monotremous, have bird-like and reptilian characteristics such as a laying eggs and a cloaca. An example of monotreme is the platypus with its bird-like beak and egg-laying characteristics. The echidnas are the only other monotreme mammals. Number 2 types of mammal is that marsupial. It includes kangaroos, wallabies, koalas, and possums. These mammals give birth to underdeveloped embryos which then climb from the birth canal into a pouch on the front of the mother's body where it feeds and continues to grow, just like what you have seen in the picture. Number 3 type of mammals is what you call placental. These mammals develop in the mother's uterus, receiving nutrients across the placenta. Placental mammals include humans, rabbits, squirrels, whales, elephants, shrews, and armadillos. Dogs and cats and sheep, cattle, and horses are also placental mammals. Another characteristics of mammals is that mammals are also the only animal group that evolved to live on land and then back to live in the ocean. Whales, dolphins, and porpoises have all adapted from land-dwelling creatures to a life of swimming and reproducing in the water. Whales have evolved into the largest mammals. Dolphins have adapted to swimming and reproducing in water. Both humans and bats have body hair, and both humans and bats can nurse their young. These are both characteristics of mammals, the class that both bats and humans belong to. For Group 2, we have insects. Insect is an invertebrate which fits into the arthropod group because it has an exoskeleton and a segmented body. Some examples of insects include bees, ants, and butterfly. What are the characteristics of insects? So their bodies are split into 3 parts and they have 6 legs, or 3 pairs of legs. Most insects have 2 pairs of wings. Insects lay eggs. Insects have antennae, or a little feelers that help them find their way around and sense what's going on. Aside from that, insects with over 1 million described species are the most diverse group of animals on Earth. They may be found in nearly all environments on the planet. No matter where you travel, you will see organisms from this group. Adult insects range in size from a minuscule fairy fly to a 21.9-inch long stick insects. Insect movement can include flight, walking, and swimming. Insects were the only invertebrates to develop the ability to fly, and this has played an important role in their success. Many adult insects use 6 legs for walking, and they walk in alternate triangles touching the ground. This allows the insects to walk quickly while staying stable. A few insects have evolved to walk on the surface of the water, like water striders. A large number of other insects also live part of their lives underwater. Water beetles and water bugs have legs adapted to paddle in the water. Young dragonflies use jet propulsion, sending water out of their back end to move. Group 3. Reptiles. A reptile is an air-breathing animal that has scales instead of hair or feathers. Reptiles have lived on Earth for more than 280 million years. Scientists consider them to be the ancestors of birds and mammals. Over the years, many kinds of reptiles have become extinct or died out. The dinosaurs are well-known reptiles that became extinct about 65 million years ago. Today, there are about 6,000 species or types of living reptile. They include snakes, lizards, turtles, alligators, and crocodiles. Reptiles are found all over the world, except in very cold areas. The greatest number and variety are in the hot, humid tropics. Snakes and lizards live in many different kinds of places. They can live on land, in trees, in underground tunnels, or in water. Most turtles live in water, but spend some time on land. Tortoises live only on land. Alligators and crocodiles spend most of their time in water, but they can make short trips on land. Reptiles are vertebrates or animals with a backbone. Except for snakes, most reptiles have 4 limbs. Reptiles vary greatly in size. Some snakes and lizards are less than 2 inches or 5 centimeters long. The largest crocodile or pythons and anacondas can grow to more than 30 feet or 9 meters long. The largest lizard is the Komodo dragon, which reaches a length of more than 10 feet or 3 meters. Leatherback turtles grow to more than 7 feet or 2 meters long. Reptiles have dry skin that is covered with scales. The scales are hardened folds of the upper layer of skin. The scales of many lizards overlap. They are arranged side by side in snakes and alligators and crocodiles. Scales also cover the body shells of turtles. Reptiles are cold-blooded animals. This means that their body temperature changes when the temperature around them changes. Reptiles warm or cool themselves by moving to warmer or cooler places. Most reptiles are inactive during winter. This is called hibernation. Some are inactive during parts of the summer. This is known as estivation. Group 4. Fish. Fish are a kind of animal that lives in water. Fish have lived on Earth for more than 450 million years. There are more than 24,000 species or kinds of fish. New ones are discovered every year. The many different kinds of fish have some things in common. They are all vertebrates, which means that they have a backbone. They are cold-blooded, which means that their body temperature changes along with the temperature of their surroundings. Fish generally breathe through organs called gills. They usually have pairs of fins in place of arms and legs. Most fish are covered with scales. Many fish have adaptations to help protect them from enemies. For example, some fish have spots near their tail that look like eyes. When an enemy strikes at what it thinks is the head, the fish can escape quickly. Other fish can change color and pattern to match their surroundings and hide themselves. Group 5. Amphibian. The organisms belonging to the class Amphibian fall under the Chordata phylum of the kingdom Animalia. These are multicellular vertebrates that live both on land and water. This class includes about 3,000 species. They are the first cold-blooded animals to have appeared on land. The characteristics of amphibian are the following. Number 1, they can live both on land and in water. 2, they are ectothermic animals found in a warm environment. Their body is divided into 2 head and trunk. The tail may or may not be present. The skin is smooth and rough without any scales but with glands that make it moist. They have 2 pairs of limbs for locomotion. Group 6. Bird. Birds are a group of warm-blooded, feathered vertebrates that lack teeth and lay hard-shelled eggs. They live in nearly every environment, from the polar regions to the tropics. Most birds fly, but there are also flightless birds, such as penguins and emus. Let's explore the characteristics of birds, compare them with other vertebrates, and examine their classification system. Birds are a group of endothermic or warm-blooded vertebrates that are characterized by feathers, toothless beak jaws, and laying of hard-shelled eggs, a high metabolic rate, a 4-chambered heart, and a lightweight skeleton. Characteristics of bird. They have this what you call feathers. Feathers are unique to birds. These structures evolved from reptilian scales to serve functions like flight, insulation, and display. Beaks and bills. Birds have a toothless beak. The beak varies greatly in size and shape, mainly according to feeding habits. Wings. Not all birds fly, but all have wings. Its oviparity. Birds lay eggs with a calcium carbonate shell. Unlike the eggs of fish, reptiles, and amphibians, birds lay hard eggs. In terms of high metabolism, birds have a fast metabolism that supports their high energy activities, especially flight. 4-chambered heart. A ear with 4 chambers allows efficient separation of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. In terms of lightweight skeleton, many of a bird's bones are hollow. This reduces weight while maintaining strength. So this time you're going now to accomplish the table below and prepare to report in class. We have the classification of animals, its characteristics, and give an examples of animals, and then other animals belong to this group. After doing the table, you are now forming a small group discussion. So question number 1, if you will regroup the 6 groups of animals into 2 big groups, how will you come up of with the two big groups of animals? What characteristics or features will you use or consider? Number 2 questions. Looking at the other animals given by each group, were there animals given that at first you did not believe it really belonged to the group? Why did you think so? Synthesis. What are the characteristics that could be used to classify animals into different groups? Day 3. Activity number 2. Semantic feature analysis. Materials needed in this activity: semantic feature analysis matrix. Introduction. Fill in the matrix by indicating whether each group possesses each feature. Use symbol check for present. So we have this what you call classification of animals. Then you will identify its whether they are vertebrates, invertebrates, warm-blooded, cold-blooded, with jointed legs, or without legs. And then after doing the lesson activity, you will now form a small group discussion. For question number 1, based on the semantic feature analysis matrix, what patterns and relationships do you observe about the characteristics of different groups of animals? Can you highlight which features are shared among multiple groups and which features are unique to specific groups? Synthesis. What is the major classification of animals and how are they being classified? Day 4. Subtopic number 2. Characteristics of microorganisms including fungi and bacteria. Introduction. You have to read the given statements and mark whether you agree or disagree in the before lesson column. You need to think about what you already know about fungi and bacteria. After the lesson, you are going to review the statement again and mark whether you agree or disagree in the after lesson column. Explicitation. So we have here in the column before lesson, are you agree or disagree with the following statement? All fungi are harmful to humans. Number 2, bacteria are only found in dirty places. Number 3, mushrooms are a type of fungus. Number 4, fungi can help decompose dead plants and animals. 5. Bacteria are always bad for our health. 6. Yeast, which is used in baking, is type of fungus. 7. There are more bacteria in our mouth than people on earth. 8. We can see bacteria with the naked eye. 9. Some bacteria are used to make medicines. And 10. Molds are a type of bacteria. A small group discussion. What new information did you learn about fungi and bacteria during the activity? Number 2, are there any misconceptions you had about fungi and bacteria that were clarified during the lesson? Synthesis. What key concepts about fungi and bacteria did you learn? So let's discuss about fungi. Fungi are a group of living organisms which are classified in their own kingdom. This means they are not animals, plants, or bacteria. Unlike bacteria, which have simple prokaryotic cells, fungi have complex eukaryotic cells like animals and plants. Fungi are found throughout the earth, including on land, in the water, in the air, and even in plants and animals. They vary widely in size from microscopically small to the largest organisms on Earth at several square miles large. There are more than 100,000 different identified species of fungi. How are fungi different from plants? Fungi were once classified as plants. However, they are different from plants into two important ways. Number 1, fungi cell walls are composed of chitin rather than cellulose or plants. and fungi do not make their own food like plants do through photosynthesis. These are the characteristics of fungi. 1. They are eukaryotic. 2. They get their food by decomposing matter or eating of their host as parasites. 3. They do not possess chlorophyll like plants. 5. They reproduce through numerous spores rather than pollen, fruit, or seeds. And then 5. They are usually not motile, meaning they cannot actively move around. What are the roles of fungi? In food, many fungi are used as food, such as mushrooms and truffles. Yeast, a type of fungi, is used when baking bread to help it rise and to ferment beverage. Roles of fungi through decomposition. Fungi play an important role in the decomposition of organic matter. This decomposition is necessary for many of the cycles of life, such as the carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen cycles. By breaking down organic matter, fungi releases carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen into the soil and the atmosphere. Roles of fungi through medicine. Some fungi are used to kill bacteria that can cause infections and disease in humans. They make antibiotics like penicillin and cephalosporin. There are types of fungi. 1. We have mushrooms. Are part of the club fungi group. Mushrooms are the fruiting body of a fungus. Some mushrooms are good to eat and are used as food, while others are very poisonous. Never eat a mushroom you find in the woods. Molds are formed by filament called hyphae. Molds tend to form on old fruit, bread, and cheese. They sometimes look furry as the hyphae grow upward and release more mold spores from their tips. Yeast are small round single-cell organisms. Yeasts are important in baking bread, rice. What are bacteria? Bacteria are tiny little organisms that are everywhere around us. We can see them without a microscope because they are so small, but they are in the air, on our skin, in our bodies, in the around, and all throughout nature. Bacteria are single-cell microorganisms. Their cell structure is unique in that they don't have a nucleus, and most bacteria have cell walls similar to plant cells. They come in all sorts of shapes, including rods, spirals, and spheres. Some bacteria can swim around using long tails called flagella. Others just hang out or glide along. Are bacteria dangerous? Most bacteria aren't dangerous, but some are and can make us sick. These bacteria are called pathogens. Pathogens can cause disease in animals and plants. Some examples of pathogens are leprosy, food poisoning, pneumonia, tetanus, and typhoid fever. Fortunately, we have antibiotics we can take which help to fight off the bad pathogens. We also have antiseptics to help us keep wounds clean of bacteria, and antibiotic soap we use to wash to help keep off bad pathogens. Remember to wash your hands. Are bacteria all bad? Not at all. Actually, most bacteria are very helpful to us. They play an important role in the planet's ecosystem as well as in human survival. There are bacteria in the soil. Bacteria work hard in the soil for us. One type of bacteria called decomposers break down material from dead plants and animals. This might sound kind of gross, but it's an important function that helps to create soil and get rid of dead tissue. Another type of bacteria is in the soil is rhizobium bacteria. Rhizobium bacteria help to fertilize the soil with nitrogen for plants to use when growing. Bacteria in food. There's a bacteria in our food. Yuck! Well, they aren't really that bad, and bacteria is used when making foods like yogurt, cheese, pickles, and soy sauce. Bacteria in our bodies. There are many good bacteria in our bodies. A primary use of bacteria is to help us digest and break down our food. Some bacteria can also help assist our immune system in protecting us from certain organisms that can make us sick. Parts of the bacterial cell. The scientific name of bacteria cells is prokaryotes. Prokaryotes are fairly simple cells in that they do not have a cell nucleus or other specialized organelles. There are parts of the bacteria cell. Number 1, we have the capsule. 2, we have the outer membrane. 3, we have the periplasm and cell wall. 4, cytoplasmic or the inner membrane. 5 is the cytoplasm. 6, the ribosomes. 7, reserve food supplies. 8, chromosomes. 9, mesosome. Interesting facts about bacteria. There are around 40 million bacteria in a gram of soil. Bacteria can survive in very harsh conditions, including deep areas of the Earth's crust and in radioactive waste. There are around as many bacteria cells in a human body as there are human cells. Bacteria are used to help the environment by treating sewage and breaking down oil from oil spills. Some bacteria have chemicals that can generate light. This is called bioluminescence. Work example. After the lesson, learners will review the statement and see if their opinions have changed. They will fill out the after lesson column. They are to reflect on what they have learned as well. Refer to the activity number 3, anticipation guide in the worksheet. So we have this what you call the worksheet, the column before lesson or agree, and then the statement. Then what have you learned? After learning all those, what are the lesson? And then reflection, or what did you learn? So this statement is from 1 to 10. Day 5. Learner's takeaway. You will be given 2 minutes to write down the most important thing they learned during the lesson and one question they still have. So you're going to write what have you learned and what are the bubble thoughts or the questions in your mind. Reflection on learning. Can you explain why it's helpful to learn about different kinds of animals and how scientists organize them into groups? For now, I think you are now ready to do the formative assessment. Good luck!